Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a detailed video on the making of this straight pant with side zipper. It has a dart and also an elastic at the back side. If this sounds like what you've been interested in, keep on watching and do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you're yet to do so. This camera did not make justice to this pant. It is so beautiful and very comfortable, trust me. It is not tight around the waist and around the crotch area. If Just keep on watching and let's get started. So I have a video on the top as well. I'll leave the link in the description box. So I made use of 2 yards of this satin or chiffon fabric. Okay, it is light in nature, it is not thick. So let's get started. So my fabric is being folded into two. I have a starting line. To know the amount of fabric to fold, divide your tie by 2 and then add some inches to that. So that was just what I did. So I minus 2 inches for the elastic because this pant will be having an a band and an elastic. So I minus 2 inches, and from that 2 inches I'll mark my hip line. So for this I used 10 inches for my hip line. This is because I don't want the pants to be tight around the crotch area, and I used 12 inches for my crotch. Okay, so this is 12 inches, and then from the crotch I came down by 4 inches. Usually I use 2 inches, but for these pants that I'm making I came down by 4 inches. This pant is a bit different from the pant that I have been making. I decided to try this step, and believe me, it was nice. It came out really well, so I decided to share for you guys to see. So placing the 2 inches off, I am going to mark the length of the pant, and I just did that, and then I just went ahead to just trim out the excess fabric. So now we will start drafting. So after having these major lines on your fabric, what you do is on this starting line, which is automatically your waistline, go ahead and mark your hip circumference, not your waist, your hip circumference divided by 4. Place what you got there, and then place it on your hip line and also on your crotch line. After that, go ahead and connect it into a straight line. Please use your ruler. You can see that I was actually using my free hand, but the line was not that straight, so I had to use my ruler to connect the lines together. So this is what I have, and then next thing I'll be doing is to measure the distance I have from here to this side as usual, and then I'll divide it by 4. Then I'll place what I got. So what I got was 10 divided by 4 will give me 2.5. So I'll just mark 2.5 here like this, and then I'll go ahead and draw my crotch. So ensure that it's not too deep. You can just go up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch by that side, and then connect it just so that it serves as a guide for you. Do not draw it too deep, because if it is too deep, your trouser will be folding around that area. And then come to your tie line, place your tie circumference measurement, and then add 1 inch to that. So that's just what I am going to mark. This video is a very detailed video. You can see how I'm taking my time to explain it. After marking it, connect it just like this. After connecting it, you measure what you have here, and then you go ahead and place the exact same thing on the bottom of your pants, just the way you will see me doing. So I'll place the same thing. After placing it, I'll connect all the lines together. So I'll come to the waistline. This is the waistline, and on this line I will be inputting my waist circumference measurement of 8 inches, and then I'll add 1 inch for allowance, and then I'll also add another 1 inch for that, because I'll be adding a dart to this pant. Okay, so now I'll just connect it into the hip line. So I'm just cross checking to be sure that I have the exact thing, and then I'll just connect it into the, just like this. Okay, so yours might have a different shape. Okay, so after that I'll just cut the top part, just the top part. After cutting it, I'll use my pin to secure, and then I'll just cut this part as well. Okay, so after cutting this part, before I cut out the entire pant, we'll be inserting the dart. So from this center front of our pant, I just marked 4 inches. My nipple to nipple is 3.5, but I marked 4 inches because of stitching allowance, so that half inch is for joining. Hope you understand. And I made a notch there. Ensure that you notch it. That is the only way you will know where you marked. Okay, so after notching it, I just cut out the pant this way, and then don't forget to also split it opened. So now for the back, this is the back pattern. When placing your back pattern, ensure that you have enough allowance at the top side and around the center front of your pants, as you can see. So from this center front of my front piece, I went up by 1.5 inches, and then I'll mark it to the side of the pants like this. So you can see me connecting it to the side of the pants. If you don't do this, you will notice that when you sew your pants, the back side will be dragging to the front. Okay, so ensure you do that. And on this part, I marked 2 inches like so, and then on the crotch line I'll mark 2.5 inches, and then I'll connect it together. And ensure that your crotch are aligning. Okay, both the back and the front crotch, try as much as you can to make sure it's aligning like this. You can see mine. So now on this other part, I'll just continue marking the 2.5 inch, and I'm going to mark this 2.5 inch all down to the bottom of this pants, and then I will connect it together. So I'll use the front piece as a guide to cut out to mark the back dart. So what I'll do now is to just trace where I marked that of the front, and then on that, so you can see what I'm doing. So I just traced it at the back side, and then I'll also make a notch there. Okay, so I have the 2 sides for our darts for both the front and the back. And then I'm going to split the side of the back opened as well. So after doing that, what I'll do now is simple. This is what we have. So we'll just go ahead and stitch on it on the crotch area. So just stitch on it on this part, like this using 1/2 inch, and then I'll repeat the same thing for the other piece as well. So I'm done, and this is what I have also stitched down the dart. This is the back piece. You can see what it is looking like. So now I'll explain what I did, how I stitched the dart. So I have stitched one side of the dart for the front piece, and I'll just explain what I did. So now this is the knot we made. I hope you can see the knot we made for the dart. This is it. So what I'll do now to fold it is simple. So I'll just measure from here, from the notched part. I'll measure 5 inches. I'll just measure 5 inches like this, and then I'll fold the notched part into two like this. The notched part will be in the middle. Okay, I'll fold it using 1/2 inch, and then I'll just stitch it down like this, following the direction of my chalk. So you just stitch it down, and when you are getting to the end, it should be slimmer, just like this, and then you stitch it inside. I hope you understand. So that's how to stitch a dart. So I've done it for the two piece. Now we'll join both the back and the front piece together. So I'll bring the other piece like this, and then I'll place it right side facing right side, and then I'll stitch it by the side using 1 inch. So guys, if you're stitching this, please take out the exact stitching allowance you took when drafting. I hope you understand. So now I'll stitch it using 1 inch by the side, okay, all the way down to the hem of the pants. So I'm just marking this for the beginners to see. So this is the side, so that's where they call the side, and that's where you'll be stitching all the way down, and repeat the same thing for the other side. And this is what I have after I was done. Can you see? So I left about 6 inches for the zipper. Remember, this pants, the zipper will be by the side, so I left about 6 inches. That is to say, I did not stitch one of the side totally. Hope you understand. Okay, so for the crotch, what you do is to place it like this, and then pin it down. Ensure that they are aligning, and ensure your seams are flat as well. Then you pin it down. After pinning it down, you stitch it from one crotch to another to avoid shortage of fabric. So this is what I have after I was done. So now what we need to do is to trim out the front piece. So from the center front, so this is the front piece, and that place I was holding is the center front. So on this center front, I'll come down by 1/2 inch. You can do this when you are drafting, or you can do it just when you are comfortable. So I did mine, but it's preferable you do this when you are drafting. Okay, so I came down by 1/2 inch. This is to avoid any bulginess that will be sitting in the front side of your band. So I'll just trim out the 1/2 inch into the waistline, just like this. Just watch what I am doing, so you can see how I just stitched it out. Okay, so that's basically it. So you can see what I have. So the front piece will be a bit lower. Okay, so now I'll measure the circumference of this pant, okay, from one side to another, just the way you see me doing. So I'll place the tape like this, and then I'll measure the circumference all the way around, and then I'll cut out a band that will fit into the pant. So I've cut out this band. It is 5 inches by width, and the length is way longer. Okay, this is because it's better to have excess than to have shortage. So at the end of the day, I'll be trimming out the excess band. So now also, it is advisable that you iron this, you fold it into two and give it a good press, and if possible add an stay or interfacing to this to give it some kind of weight, especially if you're a beginner. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and attach this to the pant. So you can see how I'm attaching it. I'm attaching it to the rough side of the pants, just like this. So I'll place it like so on the rough side of the pants, and then I'll stitch it all the way to the end, ensuring that they are equal. So I'll be stitching it using half inch. Okay, so after doing that, you have something like this. Can you see? Is what I have. So the front, the right side is now a bit rough. That's how it's supposed to be. So you fold it like so. in you fold it by half inch like this, and then you place it like so, and then you run a stitch on it all the way down. Can you see? So this is how you place it and sew it. But before we sew it, we'll go ahead and fix our elastic on the back of our pants. And to fix the elastic, we'll be making use of these darts, these two darts that we have at the back. So what I'll do is to measure from one dart to the other. Just watch what I will be doing. So I'll measure what I have from this dart to this other dart. So I have 9 inches, as you can see. So I'll just extend the dart line up to the band like this. So I'll just extend this just to serve as a guide. So this is the line. So now I'll place my elastic on that two line. So I have an elastic of 6 inches. So now I'll be placing the elastic on these two lines, and to do that I'll be making use of my pin. So I'll place it first on this line just like so, and then I'll place it on this other line as well. So I'll stretch it to this other line like this, and then I'll place it, okay, and I'll secure it with my pin. So do not forget about YouTube. This took me a while to actually like fold neatly, that is the band, because one, I did not iron it, two, I did not add an ST, so it was kind of light and slippery. So it took me time, a bit of time, so I won't even lie. So now I'll fold it like this, just like I told you to do, and I'll pin it all the way down, just so that it will be easy for me to stitch when I'm stitching on my machine. Okay, so like I was saying, it took me a while to do because this fabric is so light and I did not even iron it, but it ended up coming out nice, and it was neat because I took my time. I was not rushing at all to do it. Okay, so go ahead now and fold it just where you see me doing, and I'll fold it all the way to the down part. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to stitch your elastic. Pas de soleil, 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 pas de soleil. After you must have finished holding it down with your pin, you stitch it following the direction of my chalk all the way down, and then when you get to where your elastic is, you stop here. Okay, and then you just stitch it upward. Just hold your elastic upward, and then you make a back stitch, that is, you reverse back, and then you continue stitching it on this side again like this. So you just stitch it like that, like so, and then when you get to the other side of the band, you just stitch it up again, and then you top stitch it down. Okay, so that is, you stitch on it twice and then you continue stitching, so you won't be stitching inside the elastic. I hope you understand. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it is looking like. Okay, so this is what I have. You can see how it is looking like. I tried, it is still looking straight and neat. So this is it. Okay, so I'll just bring this a bit close. Can you see? This is just what that was what I was explaining. So when you are stitching, I forgot, ensure that you are stretching your elastic. Be stretching it as you are stitching. Okay, so you can see what I have. So now I'll fix the zipper, and that's basically it for the pant, and then I'll fold the bottom part of the pant. So I hope this video was helpful. So to fold the bottom part, just ensure that you place your pants this way, make sure that they are equal, okay, at the top, and then you trim out any excesses that you have at the bottom part. If there is any, if there is none, you just go ahead and fold it just the way we fold wrappers. So that's just basically it for this tutorial. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any question, do well to keep it in the comment section. If you have any suggestion, any what again any, and thanks for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.